Welcome, and we'll go to the next slide. Please click got it. So everyone in the room at the moment, I believe, has been here before for sure. And I want to commend Rochelle for a moment because not only did she present last week, right? I have my week straight, but over the couple of weeks prior to her presentation, she attended our events. And I don't know if those were your first times, but you attended our events and you're here now. So the first page where it says welcome, I'm doubling it and sending special welcome to you for becoming part of our community. I hope it will endure and that you will benefit by the greatness of the other people in the room. And I'm confident you will equal and exceed the contributions. So thank you. And today, of course, I get to introduce Leslie in a couple of minutes, and Leslie has become part of our community. And that's what we need from us regulars. We really need two things from you. And by the way, everyone in the room knows, and I just want to make sure there's no one else brand new. No, not yet. That you know what to do on this page so we can go right by it and continue. Please get on the mobile app. We stress this: entrepreneurship, community, education. We can go to the next slide. We're talking to people. The beauty of 1MillionCups is that across America right now, maybe not all, but a good part of 160 plus chapters are meeting at 10 a.m. in their time zones. And there's a great strength to that, focused on entrepreneurship. So you've read the mission. We can go to the next page. Key pillars. To me, the key pillars are the people in the room. And if you can fulfill the mission that we read about all the time and do two things for the organizers: bring new people to our weekly meetings and bring presenters, future presenters to our meetings. So you understand we don't pitch for money. You understand about authentic connections. You can all stand in my position today and give the same darn presentation. And so let's go, because you are the community. Next slide. I'd rather listen to Leslie. It's important to stress we're safe and supportive. Leslie's going to stand in front of us today, as Rochelle did last week, and allow us to make suggestions and to ask questions. Some people could be defensive. I'm confident that Leslie will say, thank you so much for your suggestion, and keep moving so that more questions and suggestions can be made. But it's important to read about our culture, and I give everybody 10 seconds. But to me, intentional inclusivity is a great comment and a great character to uphold. And so we are volunteer-led. You know who the organizers are, but we can flip to the next page. We need your help, and there are actually two slides, one later or after this, that talks about our social media. But read this and implement it on our behalf, because the organizers were 9, and we can only reach so many people. Somehow you all learned about 1MillionCups and are regulars. In order to sustain 1MillionCups and make it durable, we need to bring more people in. These are the ways to do it. Next slide, please. Oh yeah, share, tweet, search, like, all those things, please. I think you get the message. We need you to implement it. So the LinkedIn, please add LinkedIn on, excuse me, Please add 1 million cups to your LinkedIn profile. Many of you may have done this already. I was guilty until about a month or so ago. Please post every Monday or Tuesday about 1 million cups on Wednesday. We can broaden our impact through LinkedIn. And I want to give credit to Reggie Holmes, a regular of this group, who probably 90 days ago said we could promote LinkedIn in new ways. Here's a way. And I didn't even know I should put 1 million cups on my LinkedIn profile. So shame on me, but maybe there are others out there who haven't done it. So please do it and share that. Next slide, please. Okay, we no longer introduce our organizers, but our organizers have a great role. They make this thing happen every week by making sure somehow we have presenters. It's one of our greatest needs is more presenters. And we meet Monday mornings. And if you'd like to be an organizer, it really takes under 3 hours a week, probably 2 hours max. You have a Monday morning, a half an hour meeting. We're pretty darn efficient. And maybe you have a task or a responsibility that's got to be carried out in the week and report back. So Yahoo to the organizers. Next slide, please. We do have ambassadors. A couple are in the room right now. I've seen Reggie and John. If there's Lisa's in the room. Excuse me. So I apologize. Yeah, 3, which is awesome. Starting with Lisa, please introduce yourself and thank you for being an ambassador.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lisa Shapiro. I am the founder and CEO of DC Fempreneur. We are a community that supports professional female entrepreneurs right here in the nation's capital. And it's my pleasure to be an ambassador for this amazing community. And I want to thank Leslie for presenting. She is a member of DC Fempreneur.
John Foster.
Hi, good morning. I'm John Foster. I am the ambassador for Green Fair Health and Wellness, and this is definitely a highlight of my week. Love being here with everybody on Wednesday mornings. So grateful to be here, as well as to all of the organizers as well. Thanks.
Reg.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday. I'm Reggie Holmes, founder, creative director at Enthuse Creative. Provide brand strategy consulting and design for your business or organization. And I love being an ambassador for 1 Million Cups. Thank you to everybody who joined today and looking forward to Leslie's presentation.
Next slide, please. So we have 2 sponsors every month. This group knows it. One of our sponsors happens to be Leslie, which is awesome. Again, this is a free opportunity. And when we met in person, it cost you the cost of the coffee. And when we'll go back to that. But right now, this is an opportunity to promote your business for 4 or 5 weeks in a row. So with that, let me first speak to office evolution for a moment. John Yu wasn't able to be here today. But John has in the past provided office space, conference room space for our fabulous organization, and provides all levels of office services from address and mailbox and reception through full office services, including occupancy. And now I'll let Leslie talk about her business for a moment. Not her presentation, just her coffee sponsorship.
Hi, my name is Leslie. I am the owner and CEO of Rooted in Beauty Photography. I am a mom-focused photographer. What that means is I really strive to bring the focus back to moms. They're always taking the photos usually, but never actually in them. So I want to offer them a chance to not only get a fun, stress-free photo shoot as well as you can with your family, but solo photos of just them to really celebrate every aspect of their personality and their lifestyle. So that's me in a nutshell, and you'll learn more in a couple minutes.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you to John Yu as well. Everybody can quickly read this. I think everyone knows the protocol. Next slide, please. Fantastic. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Leslie Arakelian. And with that, I will allow her to take over.
All right. I love how you pronounce my name because most people do. It's Armenian. You can blame my husband. All of the A's and most of the vowels are actually silent. So it's Arakelian. Crazy.
Arakelian.
I think Armenians just like to throw vowels.
Well, I took a
but-
shot. It's all yours now, Arakelian.
That's fine. Welcome. You heard a little bit about me at the coffee sponsorship. I'm a mom-focused photographer. And my challenge question for you today is how to become a little bit more visible, how to get in front of moms and get them interested in getting in front of my camera. Because a lot of moms I talk to are very camera shy or don't see the importance, the need of getting in front of the camera for themselves. So if you have any thoughts on how to expand their thought process around wanting those photos for themselves to expand their identity and to celebrate and capture that, that'd be beautiful. So next slide, please.
Do you want the slide after this one?
No, I can do this one for a moment. So a little bit about me. Like I said, I am the owner and CEO of Rudin Beauty. I have been photographing. I've had a camera in my hand since I was a very little girl. I started in film. I took photography classes in high school through college, started doing weddings right out of college, and quickly decided that was not for me. But knew I always liked photographing women. I liked taking them from, oh, don't take my photo, to, oh my God, that's me, really? And showing them the straight out of camera image. It's kind of a magical moment. And I realized quickly, over the 16 years I was photographing, that we need more photographers to focus on our self-esteem and helping us to identify our identity. So through those 16 years, I've partnered with different organizations like the Women's Conference here in DC, the Central Fairfax Chamber. I set up a photo booth at one of their networking after dark events. I've photographed 3 years of the Keystone Conference in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, which is a trans conference and beautifully run. They just wrapped up this weekend. I wasn't able to make it, but and I've helped a number of women and families capture beautiful moments. And my goal for my business is really to become the premier mom-focused photographer. I really think that moms tend to lose their identities a lot through motherhood, especially if they're business owners or they have another career. They tend to lose themselves in that as well. So if I can bring out some of their personality through the photos, so they can look at those photos on a rainy day and know who they are and feel powerful and feel strong in themselves, that's my ultimate goal. Next slide. So my milestones, and I have to say I'm so proud of Liam. I've bribed him not to talk. I know, I just took that photo, Lisa. So my milestones, my business was founded February 16th, 2019. We're very close birthdays with DC Fempreneur. And my son was only 4 months old at the time. And I think I knew, even a little bit subconsciously, that I would need to, if I wanted to keep my photography alive, I would need to cling on to that, because I don't know how many moms in the room, you're pregnant, everybody's focusing on baby, your mom and your mom after the baby comes into the world. you're no longer, Leslie. So I think I clung on to that. I've been photographing for 16 years, but I never made the jump into actually owning a business. So he was really my catalyst of, I don't want an office job. I can't survive there. Yes, more than a mom. So he was the catalyst to really make me take that scary jump and to join y'all in the entrepreneurial space. So this year is exciting. I've opened a small studio in Burke, Virginia. I'm still in the process of setting it all up, but it is ready for headshots at least. And I also managed to get my highest sale ever this year. And I project that that's only going to increase as the years go on. So where I see myself in about 5 years is I hope to have, thanks, Lisa. I hope to have at least 2 clients, maybe more a month, because I am full-time staying home with Liam. And I hope to possibly pay it forward and either get an intern to help me with some of the back end business or a second shooter to help with the photographing as well. That's how I started after college. Was I met up a photographer and I interned with her in second shot, and really she took me under her wing and taught me a lot about this business and just everything I know. So I want to pay that forward. In 10 years, Liam will be 13. Oh my God. But you can see how cute he is now. So hopefully that'll stick. But I hope to incorporate him in my business at some point because he really seems to be taking an interest in cameras and photography. So I'm hoping I can foster that as long as he has interest. So next slide, please. All right. So a little bit more about me, or Rooted in Beauty. Oh, I have 1 minute left. Okay. So my mission statement is that I want to make all moms and women feel comfortable and confident in front of the camera while making the process of getting photographed simple, efficient, and stress-free. My vision I touched on is that I want all women to be able to focus inward on what they want and who they are and capture that in photographs. And so next slide. My values, I won't read through all this, but the ones I came up with are help others to help yourself. If I want every client to be happy with what they receive from me, so I will give them everything that I can to make that a goal and reality. Honesty is the best policy. I really strive for open communication when possible. I like all types of photography are very personal and very intimate. So you have to have that trust with your photographer and with your client to know that you can critique and it'll be taken seriously. And no drama, mama. I'm not a drama. I will shy away from it. I do not like conflict. So I tend to like the clients that are easygoing and that are going to leave their baggage at the door, come to the shoot and have fun and be willing to play. So next slide, please. My pillars I've kind of touched on. My three things I like to focus on are healthy, fulfilled mamas. Number 1, heirloom artwork on your walls. We need to print our photos because digital files get corrupted and lost or shoved in the back dusty drawer. And building a connection with yourself and with others through photographs. My process is 6 steps. It starts with a simple phone call to get to know you. We move into, I will come to your home. I'll help you shop your closet. We'll look at your house decor, your colors, and we'll get your photos to match your sofa. So that once the photos are taken, they blend beautifully into your home already, and they look like they were there for years. We'll go through the photo session. Since we did all the pre-planning, it'll be so stress-free. Your ordering appointment, delivery, I will get someone to come and actually hang your artwork up on your wall for you. because how many times do we get artwork and it sits on the wall, it sits on the floor right below where we want it? I'm guilty. And then referral and testimonials after that, just because I need that feedback on how I'm doing, what I can improve on. So next slide, please, because I'm sure I'm running out of time. My offerings are pretty diverse. I will morph the session into whatever you need. So if you need a headshot, we'll do that in your session. If you want a boudoir, we can do that in the same session. If you want to bring the family in for the second half of your session, let's do it. We'll bring them in after you get your photos of you solo. If your senior needs photos, I'm there too. I don't really niche down too far because I want to be able to take something off of a mom's plate if they need senior photos, if they need themselves, if they need family photos, headshots, branding, whatever they need. I want to be able to support this mama and really customize their session to them and their needs and who they are. So next slide, please. Who we serve, I'm pretty sure you probably got a sense of that, but we are serving the overwhelmed mama that doesn't want to or feels like she's normally alone in the booking and the planning session for her photo session. I want to be able to take that off of her plate and really walk with her in the planning session and really get to know who she is and what she wants. I'm not going to read all of that, but next slide. How we serve. I really strive to not be the typical photographer who, takes the booking, collects your session fee, shows up on the day and pushes my image, my vision of who you are on you. How I want to shoot you, how, I want to work with the woman and really capture how she wants to portray her story into the world, how she wants to be remembered. So I am striving to do a lot of communication on the back end, even a little bit of vision boarding, so we can get some inspiration photos to know what the end photos will look and feel like before we even click the shutter. Because if we can start with the end in mind, we can usually, eliminate a lot of the stress the day of. So I think that might be the last slide, but so some of the products that I offer are beautiful portrait boxes. The photo on the left shows a matted print. I've taken the matted print away from, I need an updated photo. So now I just have the 5x7 on a 3mm styrene, which means it's a little bit thicker, it's waterproof, it'll last you a lot, it'll be more heirloom, but it still comes in the beautiful linen box. Wall art, because everybody needs to have their photos big and displayed on their wall. John Ruttenberg, I see all of your beautiful photos behind you. You know the importance of hanging up on your wall. I love it. And then a beautiful heirloom album. Yes, I think I am done. Next slide, please. So my contact information, but that's also in the chat. And then my challenge question was, how do I get more visibility in front of moms and get them in front of my camera and to engage with my business? Because a lot of moms don't like photos or don't think they need photos, but they do. So I look forward to your advice.
Well, a round of applause for Leslie. By the way, you got me back. My last name is Rutenberg. Leslie Arakelian.
Yes.
Okay, you got it. So thank you so much. And I'm going to now turn it over to Jen, I hope is our Q&A moderator today, right?
Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Leslie, fantastic presentation. I
Thank
love the
you.
intentionality of your focus on being so customer centric. So thank you for sharing your process, what you deliver and provide, and your belief and approach. Folks who are attending, please drop your questions in chat. You can also use the raise hand feature and Zoom. I'll be looking for thoughts in chat as well. So if anybody has a question, do raise your hand and I can go ahead and kick us off. Lisa Shapiro, if you would go, and then Melinda will come to you next. Go ahead, Lisa.
Great presentation, Leslie. Congratulations. I think it was lovely. My question is, and I'm wondering about what it is that you're doing now to get in front of other moms. Like, I think it's great that you've narrowed your customer segment down, that you know that they are mothers. Perhaps there's other information that you know about your ideal client, but you haven't specifically said. But what are you doing now to essentially outreach and to market? And I'm just trying to figure out, what you're currently doing. I don't think there was a slide about it.
No, that is definitely a room for improvement. But I am definitely utilizing groups like DC Fempreneur, Central Fairfax Chamber, putting events on. I just ran a few weeks ago, I ran a vision boarding workshop for moms called More Than Mom, which actually Malika Simmons came and did a presentation during that workshop, which was beautiful because I got inspired by her presentation. But as far as outreach and getting in front of moms, I have not been doing too much. I've been feeling kind of isolated in that. So any advice on that is beautiful. I tend to be a little introverted, so I need to work on that.
It's hard, when you're a full-time mom and you're also running a business. So, I was just thinking of things that you could do where you're not having to be present, everywhere, because you're going to end up feeling like you're running yourself, a little bit ragged and spreading yourself too thin. So
Yeah.
I will give it some thought, but I feel like there's some dedicated groups that you could join and be a part of and really get to know. Like, some of the Nova parent Facebook groups are really, really big. And I feel like it's hard to kind of get to know people in there. But if you kind of find some small groups like you've done here, where you can really be an intricate member of them, where people get to know you, they get to know your business, and they're able to refer you, which is essentially, how you're going to outreach from making those relationships. So hopefully the people on today will have some suggestions of some small groups that you can be a part of.
I would love that. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Hey, just a quick reminder to make sure as we're asking questions and providing feedback, let's keep it short and concise so that we can get as many questions as possible. One quick thought, Leslie, would be to do a More Than Mom campaign in advance of Mother's Day. So happy to talk more to you, with you about that. But husbands are always trying to figure out what should I get my wife, and that could be a great campaign. Melinda, go ahead, please.
I'm gonna shout out a couple of ideas really fast. Meetup groups in the Metro DC area that are for moms. There are a whole bunch of them. You should just get yourself on them and then start showing pictures of people you shoot and tell stories about some of the moms that you featured. As well as that, I think chamber groups, and for chamber, since the mom part may not be as it's self-promoting, maybe you can do something on how to take quick snaps with your iPhone or whatever, or something where you're giving them something about photography or how to focus. Just do a few things, knowing that they can't do all the shots and mom's still not getting focused on. The last idea, and it was when I started thinking about Mother's Day and moms, great time to also do grandmothers too as a focus, because our grandparents may not be around forever. And these are really great pictures to have with the grandkids as they know them today. So a grandmother focus, and I'll keep my mouth shut. Thank you.
No, I've actually thought of that. I want to do generational photos. So the grandchild, the mom, and then the grandmother, like a 3 or maybe even 4 generation shot. I think that would be beautiful. But yeah, it's definitely grandmothers are mothers as well. So yes, it all applies. That's why I
Fantastic.
don't want to niche down too far to say, they're moms with little kids. Well, no, they could be moms with grown kids, but it
Thank
helps
you.
with marketing the niche.
Because the moms are, a lot of them are working, the kids are spending the time with their grandmothers.
Mm,
And that really opens the door for you to get, both generations.
yeah, that's a
So
great
let's
idea.
keep going because we have 4 people in queue, which I love. So before they lower their hands, Malika, go ahead.
Hello, good morning. So
Morning.
yes, I was part of the vision boarding. It was fantastic. You did a great job.
you.
So I think that was a great way to get people to see themselves first. And I will say, as someone who's never liked photos ever, when I can get a photographer that helps me to be very relaxed and to like not think about being in front of the camera, it's really awesome. So you talked about that a lot during your workshops, and that was great. A couple of quick things I had. I noticed a couple times in several of the libraries that there are different groups that come through, like Jack and Jill and some other ones, right? And so you might think about having like a free, or maybe you'll take a couple of shots. You can set up a conference room inside any of the libraries, and as long as you don't they have some rule about like you can't charge people or you can't do something, but there's some rules, but you can set up inside the library and like there's lots of moms in there with their kids with books.
Yeah.
So you can go in there and get yourself some visibility. And also Dress for Success has several chapters. There's Dress for Success DC, there's Central Virginia, there's a couple of different other ones where you're speaking to women who are transitioning into the workforce and a lot of them have never had a headshot, right? They don't even, that's not part of what they're doing right now. So you can introduce that, and also maybe even partner with Dress for Success, because they're also working with other corporations to pull in those people into the job market. And then of course, I'm happy to brainstorm with you anytime, but those are the things that came off the top of my head.
No, that's wonderful. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thank you so much, Ken Portnoy. Good to see you. What's your question or thought?
Yes, Leslie, really, I'm looking at the picture on your challenge question, and I want to push back a little bit. I object to being obnoxious about it, but you said you don't want to niche down too far. So you're absolutely right about not niching down too far, but niching a little bit, I think, could be beneficial to you, because family portraits on one hand, boudoir portraits on another hand, business portraits on a third hand, that all of those things could benefit from you picking out what you really love to do. The market for who's going to pay for grandma's portrait, and the market about who's going to pay for this might not be politically correct, but their loved one's portrait, their wife's portrait. You're not necessarily selling to the woman, but you can sell to the people who love them to get portraits of them. So the first part of this is niching down to what kinds of portraits you really love to do most. If you really love boudoir portraits, become a boudoir portraitist. But then on the other hand, to expand a little bit, who's your customer? Because the customer is the one who pays you. And so grandma might pay for the portrait, so you sell to seniors. Dads might pay for the portraiture for their family, so you have to find dads too. But if you just look at moms, I think you're missing. So niche down in terms of style and subject, expand up in terms of who your ideal customer is, and make sure that you're talking to your ideal customer.
Okay. All right. That's
Thank
a
you,
lot to
Ken.
think about. Thank you.
And John Norris.
Good morning. Hey, Leslie, two things. One is, when you are engaging clients and they're happy with your services, the easiest way to get business is to ask for referrals. There's no cost to that. It's an emotional time for them where they're excited about you. They want to share their photos. And if you're not asking for referrals at that specific moment, you're probably missing out on a lot of business. The
Yeah.
second thing, to piggyback quickly on Ken, I look at this business as, you say you don't want a micro niche, but to me you are. I'm single, not married, no kids. I don't need your services. And I worry that being so focused on women or moms in particular is so small. I mean, I don't know what the actual size of the photography market, but when you go down to just moms, I imagine you're chopping out a pretty large percentage of family photos, headshots, professional wedding, all these other ones that are probably way ahead of it. And I just worry that the niche you're going after is so small that even if you became the biggest player in that market, is that market substantial where you could generate an income and a business on a long time basis? Real quick, I think a mom ties to a daughter, an aunt, a friend, all these different roles. That's what I would want, is she's the glue to all these other life people, kind of what Ken was saying, not just I want moms. Anyway, those are my thoughts.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, John. And John Rudenberg.
Thank you, Jen. And again, Leslie, great presentation. I want you to go back to a pain point you mentioned, which is moms not wanting to be the subject of the photography, which you had said earlier. And so that made me say that, well, if you caught mom in a role that she plays, whatever those roles are, whether it's work roles, children roles, community roles, whatever they are, because that would in fact embody these great ideas that came up from everyone else. That my thought was, you could do a partnership with, if you could get the moms in a mommy child play group to all want to do photos of the group. It's a great way to get moms. And again, I don't know if your product is narrowly the mom sitting in her favorite chair posed, or candid shots, mom in action. So I don't know enough, but given the pain point, it seems it would be a lot easier to work your way as a second product to mom solo, and as a first product, mom in action, whatever that means. And that moms with no drama, that's a great tagline, mama, no drama, or whatever, could be utilized very well, in that you will put them at ease, which is an important thing. But you're just going to be shooting away while they're in a play group, or they're in all these different ideas, the grandparent, mom, child. All of the above is fabulous. And again, it doesn't have to be sitting on the sofa with everything matching or whatever, because in action, you're more at ease. So
Yeah,
thank
it's
you.
more capturing the chaos.
Capture the chaos, and you get amazing pictures, because the moms will be laughing at the chaos while you guys are shooting. And her mother or father or uncle will be there. And when the uncle is John Norse, now you've captured John Norse for the future, which just ties back to his point and Ken's, because who knows who's the payer in any of these cases, but they're all potential markets. So those are my thoughts.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Bus stop photos, that's interesting. Never thought of that. We have a bus stop right out the door.
Well, I do think there is value in really thinking about where our moms already at, or where our families already at. So John Norris mentioned in chat, working with preschool, early age childcare. I would talk with Mayosha Mendez, who's one of our organizers, about offering that in the school packets, which was a suggestion. You also
Soccer leagues.
Yes, soccer leagues.
Sports leagues.
Yes. The other thing I would say is the vision board is really powerful. And I think communicating in your marketing messaging, how you get people comfortable and how you really make the photo shoot thoughtful and intentional and not rushed, I think is a very powerful message. There are plenty of people who really are terrified of getting their picture taken. So I think those could be great. Again, as I said before, doing a Mother's Day or Grandmother's Day campaign would be great. I'm going to move over to Reggie Holmes. Go ahead, Reggie.
Yes. One idea that I had was, so it's like award season. And I was thinking maybe you could do some kind of campaign where people nom a mom, you know, so like you have, maybe you're giving away one of your packages or for a discounted rate. And people can nominate a mom that they feel like deserves it, right? You know, whether you are in that target market or not, we all know one, you know, we all know several that are deserving of this type of experience. And really, you are selling an experience. It's not just the pictures, it's being honored the way that you feel like mothers should be honored through having these pictures taken that capture them as they are, beyond just the role that they play as mothers. So I think that something like that would be fun. It would get the greater community engaged, you know, thinking about, well, who should, you know, receive pictures like this, because I know several women that are deserving. So that's one idea. And then and another sort of similar is to maybe think about putting together a book of some kind that captures not only the pictures, but the stories of the women. Because as you're talking about why people, you know, pursue your service, there's a story behind that. There's something that they're not feeling that these pictures allow them to feel or reconnect with. And, you know, a coffee table book or something like that might be a great way to showcase your work, but also the thought and intentionality that goes into your work and your product. And that would also be something that, you know, people would love to talk about and show other people. So
I love those two ideas. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Reggie. Malika.
Now I'm a mom is fantastic.
I love the name too.
I love just saying it. That was great, Reggie. So I had a quick thought when you were talking about moms in action and capturing the chaos, and you were talking about mompreneurs. We had a conversation about how much we love Canva and the different things that we're doing there. So if you had something that would help moms with their social media, like in terms of Instagram, like how to get these Instagram, you're taking the pictures, but there's all sorts of formats and different things. And we kind of talked about that a little bit before. It's one thing about having the self-confidence on inside, like, oh, what should I post and how should I post it? And do I have a template and that sort of thing? When I had my photo shoot done, I had my family there and the photographer took a couple of little cameos. And I thought that was really cool that he got my daughter holding my bag while I'm trying to get ready and a couple of different things I wouldn't have even thought of, but it goes into your story and your personal branding story as an entrepreneur, especially as a mompreneur. So you could actually focus on that too.
I love that. Thank you.
Donnell.
I was trying to find the mute button. You have the most precious and powerful commodity out there that everybody is looking for right now. When it comes to telling a story, a picture can tell a story like no other. And I really believe that if you take advantage of social media, TikTok, Instagram Reels, all of those avenues that are out there to help people, you know, tell their story. And you said a lot of powerful stuff in your presentation today. I want you to go back and listen to this presentation and take snippets of what you said as far as the pain points are concerned and add that to a couple reels on TikTok. And then you can niche it down to your target market through hashtags and really get people excited about it. And utilize your social media, especially TikTok and Instagram, to tell their story and your story at the same time. And that would be your business card, because you don't really have to say much. You just have to lead them to your process, which is going to the best place where they can find your story, which is Instagram and TikTok.
I have not explored TikTok. For some reason, my husband doesn't want me on it. So
Please do, because it allows you to tell your story in less than 7 seconds, and you can do it with so many pictures. and really tell them the value that they get behind the picture. And you need to figure out what your sales process is, but you can start that as your sales process by leading them to your Instagram and TikTok, because that's what you do as pictures. And those platforms are picture driven. I went to your website, and your website doesn't have your social media links on there, but I would at least have your Instagram link on your website. And maybe I missed it, but
You might not have. I built it myself, so there's probably holes.
yeah, but put that on there. I think you're doing a phenomenal job. I looked at all of your stuff, and I was trying. I'm about to go out of town, and so I'm trying to pack and do all of this stuff at the same time. And you pulled me in with your story and your pictures. So continue with what you're doing.
Well, thank you. Safe travels, and I look forward to seeing you in June.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to have you there.
Thanks.
So can you get a last question before I ask the final question, if you want to go ahead?
Oh, okay. Well, I know what the last question is, and I'm going to jump it. I really think that your mission, Leslie, of boosting self-esteem through beautiful pictures is a marvelous vision. And when I spoke before, I forgot to recognize how much I enjoyed and understand and appreciate that vision. But it triggered a thought. I believe we had a presenter a couple of weeks back who was a scarf vendor, a headscarf vendor for beautiful headscarves. And so I think that the organizers, if we can hook up that presenter whose name escapes me in my middle-aged brain.
Monifa Keynes, yes?
Yeah, I think that the two of you share a similar vision, and the people who she is helping probably would benefit greatly from a frozen moment in time when they were under the stress that drove them to need a headscarf, and a photo that makes them beautiful in their headscarf to overcome whatever negative feelings their condition may be bringing them to. And so I think it's a marvelous pairing. If we can facilitate that hookup, there may be some real synergy there.
Just you saying that brought tears to my eyes and emotion. So I feel drawn to that. So I love that idea. I absolutely love that idea.
I'll make the connection, and she's actually going to be a vendor at our event in June.
Oh, beautiful. Maybe we can set up like I can bring my studio next to her spot, and we can do those photos there.
Great idea.
And get some samples. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So fantastic ideas. Love it. Thank you, Ken. I appreciate that.
I love it.
So
Thank
Leslie,
you.
what else can we do to help you? What asks do you have of this group?
I think just, I'm a mom. If you know somebody, I love that. I'm going to use that. Thank you. If you know of a mom of anybody that could use an identity, a self-esteem boost, a photo shoot, I would love to have them sent my way. My pipeline is very, very slim, so I'd love to fill that up and help impact and change a life any way I can. If you know anybody that I could help, please send them my way. They'll be well taken care of.
One thing, Leslie, that I'll just throw out there because I can't help it. Maybe do a day for, for example, I would nominate like 4 different women I know and make a day of it, right? Have us all come to the studio, have some wine, not too much, but just really make it an experience, right? Yeah, well, okay.
I know, but margaritas, there we go. We'll do margaritas.
But yeah, I mean, I think those are great. So we'll send you some more thoughts. We'll continue to spread the word too about your business. It really was a wonderful presentation. So thank you again for being there.
But yes, I am definitely planning on doing marathon days where we give every woman like a half hour to an hour just for them, and then make a party of it. So
I'm in. Fantastic.
Yeah, let me do a day and a couple women that you you want to bring along, and we'll do it.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, John, I'm going to hand it over to you as our MC to take us forward.
Sure, thank you. Before I thank Leslie again, I'm just curious, when you're making a day, what time of the day are we starting? And at what point does
and
the
with hair and
wine
makeup.
bottle open? I'm just curious in the day. But anyway,
Well,
A
as
Moses
my-
to
as-
margaritas. That's what you need to call it. And it's just,
as
it can
my-
be all day.
As my
absolutely.
mom says, you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
Well, there you go. Okay.
He
So,
says it
you
in
know,
jest, but
100%. So one, Leslie, thank you again. A round of applause for Leslie. Appreciate
thank
you
you.
presenting to us. I do want to take a moment and recognize Malika Simmons, who Leslie recognized, because she recently presented to us, several weeks to a month ago, and she's in the house today in our room, and I love that. It's so important to us to have our presenters come back, and so thank you very, very much, Malika. It's awesome. Okay, guys, next week, Alpha Alliance. AI and machine learning in the world of sports. Diego and his partner, whose name I don't know, are both NCAA women's softball coaches at colleges on the East Coast. And they have a product. And I think it'll be a very, very interesting and exciting meeting. And we're excited that Diego and Alpha's Alliance will be with us next week. Next slide, please. So we're booked through April. That's the good news. The bad news is we don't have an extensive pipeline. So please suggest presenters. As we all know, March just passed, starting tomorrow, I think. Maybe Friday, I guess. Today's only Wednesday. Friday is April. Okay, so March went quickly, as will April. So please suggest presenters to us. Next slide, please. Again, we need two really critical, constructive actions by everyone in the room. Bring us presenters, show up, and the third one is consider being an organizer. We know everyone's busy. It's a great opportunity to lead us. And again, if it's 2 hours a week, that would be the max. Next slide, please. Melinda, would you like to highlight any of these? You're on mute at the moment, but please do.
Sure, there are a lot of events coming up next week with Central Fairfax. Some of them look like they could be really interesting, like Business Impact for Good Understanding, Social Entrepreneurship. And the one live event is asterisked at the bottom. It's from on the Young Professionals. It's going to be at the Tower Club. And that's always a fun thing to go to. And there are a lot of great events. All you have to do is remember Central Fairfax and Google Central Fairfax events, and you'll get to this page the fast way.
Excellent. So Leslie, I noticed the 1, 2, 3, I think fifth bullet down on that slide was Together We Are Better, Women in Business. I don't know if that's a good or not good possibility, but it's an example of where you ought to be in general.
The Zoom call.
Okay,
So-
so couldn't
That
be
might
be
shooting
cool.
necessarily, but again, just part, there may be, it's just a generic yet specific example. Next slide, please. Most critical is say thank you. And in the beginning of the meeting, I mentioned that the folks in the room really are the veterans, which is awesome. And we have a few people who have joined us recently and 2 presenters who have come and hopefully will continue to be part of our community. And that's what it's all about. So on behalf of the organizers, I say thank you very much for being here today. And again, to Leslie, it's awesome. Finally, by the way, the Fairfax chapter of 1Million Cups, by a long stretch, is the best chapter in America. And don't let anyone tell you anything different, by the way. There's no comparison. For example, we meet every Wednesday. Some of the groups don't meet every Wednesday. Okay, some meet maybe once a month. We meet every Wednesday. And besides, we're better people than all the other chapters, so there. But thank you so much for being here today. And again, thank you to the Kauffman Foundation for promoting entrepreneurship and for allowing us to become more educated as entrepreneurs. So awesome seeing you all, and you're welcome to hang out for a few minutes.